So we're going to now look at a question regarding ROI and RI, and this is a question from ACCA. It's called Sportsco. So Sportsco is a large manufacturing company specializing in the manufacture of a wide range of sports clothing and equipment. The company has two divisions, the clothing division and the equipment division. Each division operates with little intervention from head office, and divisional managers have autonomy to make decisions about long-term investments. So this is a company, Sportsco. It has two divisions, C and E. Sportsco measures the performance of its divisions using return on investment, calculated using controllable profit and average divisional net assets. So they calculate their ROI by using average net divisional net assets and controllable profit. What is controllable profit? The profit that is controlled by the managers. That's within the control of the managers. Okay, so that's another thing that we got cleared up. The target ROI for each division is 18%. So the target return on investment is 18%. If the divisions meet or exceed this target, the managers receive a bonus. So if it's more than 18%, they receive a bonus. If it's less, they don't. Last year, an investment which was expected to meet the budget error was rejected by one of the divisional managers because it would have reduced the division's overall ROI. Consequently, Sportsco is considering introduction of a new performance measure, which is residual income, in order to discourage this dysfunctional behavior in the future. Like ROI, this would be calculated using controllable profit and average divisional net assets. The draft operating statements for the year prepared by the company trainee accountant is shown below. So this is revenue, variable cost, contribution, fixed cost, profit, and they've given the opening net assets and the closing net assets. Okay. Apart from this, there are two notes that is also given, and we'll look at it a little bit later. And the requirement is calculate the return on investment for each of the two divisions of Sportsco. So we need to calculate the return on investment for division C and return on investment for division E. So what are the notes? Included in the fixed cost are depreciations of 165,000 and 460,000. Okay. Okay, what is wrong with that? Division C and E respectively. 30% of the depreciation in each division relates to assets controlled but not owned by the head office. So in the depreciation that has been used here, 30% of the depreciation cost, this cost is basically controlled by the head office. It's not within the control of the manager. Okay, so that needs to be added back. Apart from that, Division E invested $2 million in plant and machinery in the beginning of the year, which is included in the net assets figure above, and uses reducing balance method to depreciate. Division C uses straight line method, and it made no significant additions to current assets. So they have added division E has added a new equipment worth 2 million. Division C has not added any assets to it. Head office recharges all of its costs to the two divisions. These have been included in the fixed cost and amount to 620,000 on division C and 700,000 for division E. So 620,000 fixed cost, which is included in division C. This is the head office's cost. So this is not something that is controllable by division C's manager. It's not part of the controllable assets. And similarly, for division E, it has 700,000. Okay. So firstly, in order to calculate the ROI, let's first calculate the two things that we need to calculate the ROI on. The first is controllable profit. Let's do the controllable profit first. Controllable profit one is for division C. The other one is for division E. Let's do the first one. So for division C, over here the net profit is given 14,000. Yes. Now, as we can see that 30% of depreciation in each division relates to controlled by the head office. So we need to add back this depreciation. Why do we need to add it back? Because this is not within the control of the divisional managers. So let's add that back. So 30% of 165,000. We need to add this division back to the profit, cost to the profit. And apart from that, there is also a $620,000, which is head office cost, but it is included in this fixed cost. So this cost is not within the control of the divisional manager. So this needs to be added back. So plus 620,000. Yep. So the controllable profit for division C is this. Okay. Let's do the same for division E. The net profit given is 3950123. We will need to add back anything which is not under the control of the manager. So the first thing that we can see is 460,000, and 30% of this relates to depreciation costs, which are under the control of the head office, not under the control of the manager. Also, we need to add back a proportion of the fixed cost, which is head office fixed cost. So over here, this is this. So there we go. Yeah. A minus table. One typing error here. This should be 3950. Right. And this is 1455. And this is of 165,000. So we can make mistakes here. So let's just go through it one more time. 620,000. So that's 620,000. Yeah. Next up, average net assets. So we'll do the same thing. One for division C. The other one for division E. So average net assets. Let's do this. For division C, the opening net assets was 13,000. Actually, it's let's check the numbers. There should be 6 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Plus 9,000 plus 1,000. So this entire thing divided by 2, that is how we calculate our average net assets. Now let's do the same for division E. Its opening net assets was plus closing net assets was once again, be very careful with the zeros because we can make very common mistakes over here. Divided by 2. So now we will come to ROI. Same thing for division C and E. So how do we calculate the ROI? controllable profit divided by division average net assets into 100. And for this, once again the same thing, my controllable profit divided by my average net assets into 100. This is in percentage. This is also going to be in percentage. So that is basically how we calculate the return on investments. Okay. So make sure you're very comfortable with the zeros. Let's put this into 2 decimal places, and this one into 2 decimal places as well. Okay. Now, so the next part of this question is, now that we have calculated the ROIs, discuss the performance of the two divisions for the year, including the main reasons why their ROI results differ from each other. So why are their ROIs different? So now that since they're talking about discuss, there are many ways in which we can try this, but what we can, the approach that I am going to take is, I'm going to simply say what the outcome is. Then I am going to say why they are different. Why different? And lastly, impact on behavior. When they're talking about discuss, there are many ways in which you can discuss this, but it's better to know how you're going to discuss it, so that way we know what we need to find out. So outcome is what? Outcome is the fact that division E has less and division C has more. So division C has an ROI of how much? 19.31%. 31%, whereas division E has a lower lower ROI of 17.33. So firstly, we state what has happened. So based on this, what we can say is based on performance, the manager of division C is likely to get a bonus, whereas the manager of division E will not. Okay. So this is basically what our outcome is. All right. So why is this outcome different? First of all, division E has recently invested. You can see from here that division has recently invested 2 million 2 million on new equipments, increasing its net assets, whereas division C has not added any asset. Also, division C, as we can see, uses a reducing balance method. So what is the impact of using the reducing mallet method? Sorry, division E uses reducing balance method, which means what is the impact of using a reducing balance method? In the initial early stages, the depreciation charges are high, and as the asset grows older, the depreciation charges decreases. So, because division E is using a reducing balance method and it has already invested in a new machine, which means it charges high what do you call that? Depreciation in early stages of assets, which which have increased its net profit. We know that depreciation is a cost which is included in the profit and loss statement. So if they're using a depreciation reducing balance method and they've invested 2 million on a new equipment, this is definitely going to have an impact on the net profit. Okay. And to add to that, we can also, let's see if there's anything else we can add. So division C makes what? Division C makes clothing, where division E makes equipment. So division C makes clothing, whereas division E makes equipment. So division E probably requires a higher asset base than division C. These are basically some of the reasons that we have identified as to why their ROIs might be different. Okay. So what impact could this have? The third thing is what we're talking about is impact on behavior. So because as we can see that very simply looking at the things above, division E manager will be reluctant to invest in new machinery. Obviously, in the future, he's not going to invest in the new machinery if he's not going to get a bonus, because his ROI is less than the target ROI, so he's not getting a bonus. And why is he not getting a bonus? Because he invested in new machinery. In future, as it will adversely impact his ROI. And that is not obviously a good thing, that we already know that, because very simply this may have the long term success of the division and sports code in general. So that is what we can discuss basically. Looking at the performance, Division C manager will not get a bonus. Division C manager will get a bonus. Division E manager will not get a bonus. That is what we have clarified. Why will he not get a bonus? Because Division E has recently invested, not added to assets. So let's just add one line over here. So as a result, Division E managers ROI is lower than Division C. So that should be enough for us to discuss. So first things first, you should decide how you're going to discuss it, what the topics are going to be, and then you just simply write about what you think. Now let's look at the third one, third requirement. So calculate the residual income for each of the two divisions and briefly comment on the results of this performance. So let's just simply calculate the RIs, residual incomes. So for residual income, what do we do? For residual incomes, we calculate the controllable profit, and we put subtract the notional interest, and we get our residual income. Let's put division C, and let's put division E. So we have already calculated the controllable profit. The controllable profit, as we can see, was this. For division E, the controllable profit was this. So notional interest. So what is my cost of capital? The cost of capital is 12%. So it is 0.12 of what? It's 0.12 of my net assets. So what was my net assets? My net asset was 110,000. Okay. And for division E, once again 0.12. What was my net assets for division E? My net assets for division E was this. So this is this. These are my residual incomes.